So it is a privilege to be here. If anything, today's agenda has really highlighted the relationship between capital markets and the real world which sustains their functioning. Financial and economic activities, whether intended or not, do contribute to these issues we're facing. And implementing sustainable finance tools like a transition taxonomy and mandatory disclosure of key sustainability metrics will elevate investor confidence, enabling private finance to flow toward more sustainable economic activities, and not a moment too soon. Our best chance at a livable future requires alignment with sustainability impact goals like the SDGs and the Paris Climate Agreement. So I'm here as part of the United Nations-supported Principles for Responsible Investment, an investor-led initiative with more than 5,300 signatories. And these investors steward approximately $121 trillion US. Here in Canada, there are 241, to be precise, PRI signatories, and some who have taken the stage today and during this event as leaders in the space. So I'm happy to say that even outside of this room, there is growing awareness that system-level risks like biodiversity loss and climate change pose a threat to entire portfolios and their potential for future value creation. Because the bulk of returns depend on the performance of economic systems, not just companies, there is a compelling argument for investors to consider pursuing sustainability impact goals. This holds true especially for sophisticated investors with highly diversified portfolios, not only in the EU and UK, but also here in North America. And I have good news. Legal research conducted recently by Freshfields Bruckhaus Derringer examined 11 jurisdictions, including Canada. And that research determines that in most cases, investors already have the legal freedom to pursue sustainability impact goals where they are relevant to investment objectives. For example, the declining sustainability of environmental and social systems present a risk to financial outcomes, and so investors are under legal duty to consider pursuing better environmental and social outcomes in order to mitigate that risk. This approach is grounded in the fact that the primary purpose and goal of investment is generally to provide financial returns. These and other findings are spelled out in the report, A Legal Framework for Impact. So, commissioned by the PRI, UNEP FI, and the Generation Foundation, the report was published in 2021 and is a free resource available for download, all 559 pages, from the PRI website. So it represents a real shift from focusing solely on integrating ESG factors into investment decisions to a more intentional and holistic approach referred to as investing for sustainability impact. This concept boils down to the use of investor influence to achieve clearly defined sustainability goals. Investors can consider whether and how a combination of investment activity, specifically beta-focused stewardship, but also asset allocation and policy engagement, can and should be used to ensure sustainable long-term returns for their funds. Importantly, investors must accept the limitations of individual engagement and seek opportunities to work collectively. We've been hearing this on repeat. Work collectively with other investors as well as stakeholders beyond the financial sector. This way, the financial impact of engagement is spread across the whole market and will be reflected in the performance of the market as a whole. So last month, PRI published the Canada LFI report, which makes specific policy recommendations for the Canadian market to clarify legal duties and establish an enabling regulatory environment for investors to set, pursue, and report their progress toward achieving sustainability impact goals as a means to protecting and enhancing financial returns. So in closing, I will invite you to do two things. Read the Canada report You may be relieved to know it's only 21 pages. And secondly, for all the investors in the room, I'd like you to perhaps take a look at your investment fund's beliefs and policies and reflect on whether they're still fit for purpose. Do they support your fund in developing goals and taking concrete, accessible actions to ensure the stable markets that are required for long-term value creation? It's when we dare to consider the financial consequences of a failure to transition that setting and pursuing sustainability impact goals makes a lot of financial sense. So in closing, I'll just quote the ISSB chair, why not, Emmanuel Faber, who said that conscious investment is probably the most powerful tool that we have to change the world. Thank you.